Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jeffrey, here in Mumbai, shooting the Indian edition of World Makers. Mumbai is the gateway to India's business and advertising communities, and of course Bollywood. To be world made, you need to know India. Today on World Makers, we'll meet the storytellers, entrepreneurs, and inventors, making India a global leader for innovation and imagination. And we're pleased to have Dibakar Banerjee with us, a renowned filmmaker and former advertising creative director. Welcome to the show, Dibakar.
Thank you.
I know you just came back from Toronto where you did Shanghai. Tell us a little bit about what that film is about.
Shanghai is a political thriller, and it's about India as of today. In India, there are a lot of films made about politicians, but the films are not necessarily political. The films could be a revenge drama. The film could be a family saga. I mean,
Right.
You could change the professions of those politicians into, I don't know, they could be selling coal, and the film would not change. I really wanted to make a film which had the politics as a spine, around which the characters could behave and take their choices. You know what I'm saying? We just went to TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, and the kind of reaction the film got, it really got me really energized, because I could realize that something so Indian, so Indian, was kind of jumping through the audience absolutely effortlessly. They could get each and every character, each and every nuance, each and every detail of the culture. And these guys were normal Canadians. But they all said that, you know, we can connect to the guys, we can connect to the people and the reasons why they are doing. So that's been a great sense of relief for me. And currently I'm kind of basking in that relief.
From an outside perspective, there's a narrow view about what Indian film is. So we always use the word Bollywood, but Bollywood really defines a certain genre.
I think, and this is my personal opinion, is that what happens is that whenever you are there as an Indian filmmaker, what you find is that you are slotted and sometimes dismissed as a Bollywood filmmaker, as Bollywood. We've managed to convince the world that there is nothing more to India than Bollywood, which would be a shame if it were to be true. But the other side is that over the last 6 or 7 years, new kinds of films have been coming up with new kinds of filmmakers, and while working within Bollywood, they are, you know, now breaking down
Outside
traditions.
of that genre. And there's almost a risk factor. There's tension on the political scene. There's tension, you know, in terms of the gap between rich and poor.
This is the most fascinating period for any artist's, filmmakers, writers, poets, painters' life. India changing right now is like...
Right, because you're right at the center of it.
Right in the center.
And it's happening now.
It's happening now. It's almost like Industrial Revolution in England
Right.
in the 19th century.
And when you think about the Indian consumer, what is the appetite of the Indian consumer for that kind of message or movie experience?
15 years ago, the film had to go to every last cinema theater in the country to make money. But over the last 15 years, what has happened is multiplexes, the new audience, and the new kind of films have kind of generated an audience loyal to itself. What's more important is that that audience pays for the film. And you could call it a fat niche. It's not a very narrow niche, but it's not very universal audience.
But it's a niche that's willing to pay money to see the film.
And it's a niche that makes a film financially viable, provided you're smart enough to make it cheap enough and yet make it look as if
it's high quality.
It's high quality.
Do you see any inspiration or correlation or connectivity between, you know, your creative thinking and advertising and how you transformed into filmmaking?
I got into advertising at another period of fantastic change in India. I think that has got to do more with it. In India, cable television started in 92, I think, 91, 92. Now, we started watching a lot of ad films and music videos and foreign TV shows because of that explosion, media explosion. And our advertising was informed by that. And automatically, I would use all of these influences to sell chocolate, you know. I still do make TV commercials in between features because I believe that that's a way of staying in trim. A TV commercial is a new problem every time.
Right.
That's where I think creativity is forced to kind of rise to the occasion to grapple with the change.
It's an opportunity. Yeah.
It's an opportunity.
And also, speaking of change, one of the other things we see impacting everything, not just filmmaking, advertising, is the role of technology. And I thought that, I mean, when I think about some of the ways you've made your film, and
Yeah.
again, going back to not being slavish to expensive ways of doing it, I mean, how has that influenced you, or how have you benefited from technology?
Well, the fact is that when you make TV commercials, one thing that you learn, as you said, was technical expertise. The other side of advertising is that it's so visual and it is so momentary that to transform from that mode of storytelling to a 90-minute format, one thing you really need is something to say. If you don't have something to say, it's possible to sustain yourself for 30 seconds or 90 seconds, but it's absolutely impossible for the film to have any coherence.
Yeah, there has to be substance in the story and an idea.
Yeah, it has to.
Thank you, Dibakar, and thank you for spending time with us on World Makers. We're all looking forward to viewing Shanghai. And thank you, everyone, for tuning into World Makers.